Hi, Elaine.
Hi, Dan.
How you doing?
Not too bad. And yourself?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good.
Good.
There's Joanne.
Of the deaths in the United States and around the world from COVID is
There's Bill.
Hey,
There's
Dan.
Mary. Hi there. How you doing, Elizabeth?
Very well. How are you?
Good. I like your background today.
Oh, yeah. I gotta change that.
It's good. I like it. Didn't know you could have a library. That's good. My little girl loves doing the virtual backgrounds during all the Zoom
Yeah.
meetings these days. She's constantly doing it. There's Mary. Hi, Mary. There's
Hi, Mary.
Scott. Hey, Scott. Deborah's iPad is connecting. That's good. Here, maybe I'll play a couple of tunes while we're waiting around, eh?
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'll play this tune. I've been thinking about it. It's a very popular beginning Cape Breton tune. I don't know, Elaine, if it rings a bell for you, but Sir Reginald MacDonald. Is that a... Yeah, great
Heard of
tune.
that.
Sir Reggie. You got that one, Mary? You heard of that one? Yeah. And I learned it when I was 6 or 7, something like that. It was one of the first ones I learned. I remember we had a set when I was really little. Like the first set that I learned to play was, what do you call it? The Rosebud of Alan Vale, followed by the Rowan Tree March, which is actually a great tune. I haven't played it in years and years now. And then Sir Reginald MacDonald after that, and the High Road to Linton to finish. That was one of the first sets that we ever did. Yeah. But anyway, I'll play you Sir Reggie. It's a great old tune. That's her. Sir him, I should say, Sir Reginald MacDonald. So yeah, so that's a very, very popular beginning tune. I definitely think we should get that one at some point. And there's also a great Straspe that I used to play too when I was a kid, and I've taught it to people overseas and down the States and everywhere in like 5 minutes. It's a real good one to get quickly. And again, it's a very popular tune in Cape Breton, and it's called Hawk Hey Johnny Lad. And it goes like this. Yeah, so maybe that would be an idea. We could do the two of them together and do the classic thing where we go from Straspe to reel. It would be very good. And then I was thinking about the Irish side of things and the common tunes that the Irish people use to teach beginners. I thought of Egan's Polka, otherwise known as Kerry Polka. And it's one of the first ones that they learn over there. That's usually one of the very, very first ones that people learn over there. Also, I don't know, some of you have not done the swallowtail jig, which is also one of the first ones they learn over there, and half of us did do it, so we should probably take a look at that one at some point too. But that's just a few examples of beginning tunes that we still have yet to do, that we might as well get under our belt, and because they're fun and they're easy, and they're meant for people who are just starting to play. So yeah, I thought I'd just kind of put that in your ear, because we will be doing those at some point or other. Now, how's everybody's fiddling going these days? Okay? Awesome. Oh, Scott's got the big thumbs up. That's great. Right on, man. Okay. Anybody have any revelations or insights or discouragements or comments about this week's endeavors of fiddling? Yes, Deborah.
A woman I know had an online kitchen session, and one of the tunes, she goes, this is kind of an obscure one, so we'll start slow. And it was the Kesh jig.
An obscure one. Wow. Well, that's pretty cool. Don't you love when that happens?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, tickle pink.
That's great. Right on. And how did you get along playing the session? Was it okay?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. There were some like down east song tunes that I was familiar with from years ago. Some of the ones I hadn't heard before, but I was doing, like I said, pick out the phrases. So
yeah,
if she was going through, at least I could do those phrases and try to add to each run through. So
sure.
yeah, no, it was fun.
Oh, that's great. I love hearing about those things. I used to do it when the pandemic first struck. I did a once a week session just out of my office here, just because I don't know, it was something. For a little while there, it was the only thing happening in the week was me doing this session, and it was for our whole house. Like, everybody got into it or whatever, and I'm thinking about kind of doing it again. Because I had lots of people tuning in. I usually had about 12 people here on Zoom playing along with me, and then many people out in Facebook land playing along with me. And so I think that since there's no end in sight, well, there's an end in sight, but it's a long way off, I thought I might reintroduce the whole idea. And I now have this outdoor building that connects with an Ethernet cable with microphone and headphones. And so I'm thinking about having a guest once a month come and join me, and we'll have an online session with different people. I think that'd be fun. But I think those online sessions are really great, and they seem to be keeping people going for sure. Yeah, glad to hear it. Anybody else have any insights or revelations this week like that? That's great, Deborah. So glad they played the Kesh too. Anybody? Anybody notice anything that's like impossible this week that they've been trying to do, but it's like, feel like you're pulling your teeth out?
No, but I did, I was very brave because I was very nervous about taking the little fine tuner pegs.
Yes.
Unscrewing them completely. I thought, oh no, that will be the end of it. But then I sort of thought a lot about how that mechanism works, and I tried to Google it. So I think I understand better how that part of the instrument works, and I sunk the pegs in soap, and that is helping.
Oh, good. Yeah. So you
it
learned
is
about how it's a little lever that gets pushed down and pulls the string.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's an amazing little rig, eh?
It is.
Yeah, cool. All right. Anybody else discover anything like that about their fiddle or anything at all? Love talking about the fiddle. It's my favorite thing to do. Kids hate it.
Oh my God. Do you know Daniel Carr? Oh my God.
Oh yeah. I know.
Daniel Carr. So my girls did competitive Highland dancing.
Oh, okay.
So I know Daniel.
I've played. Daniel has danced for me many times, actually. I used to have a show. I mean, I still have a show. It's called Brogue, and it's me and my buddies Brian and Ross, and we have usually four or five dancers, and we do. They're pretty big gigs down at the convention center or Steam Whistle Breweries, for instance, every year at St. Patty's Day. And Daniel has danced for us many times. He also danced for us down in Saline, Michigan, at the Saline Celtic Fest. He's a wicked dancer and a great piper too.
He's an amazing piper.
Yeah.
He danced for the national competition.
Oh, I know. He's a national champ.
Remarkable. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. That's great. Okay. Well, I guess we'll get started. We're missing we're missing a few people, but a couple people said they couldn't make it tonight. They'll catch up on the YouTube, so that's okay. So we might as well get started. So let's see. Why don't we do our scales and we'll pick a bowing pattern. All right. So let's start. Well, first of all, actually, let's do our first scale, the A major scale, and let's just do it straight bowing. Just nice long notes with a good sound and nicely in tune. And I'll put my tuner on here just to keep us all honest. And I better check my fiddle. Ooh, that's better. That was pretty out. Okay.
What scale are you doing? What scale are you doing?
We're going to do the A scale starting on the A string. So just the one octave A scale, and just regular long bows there, guys. Now I'm just going to mute you all. I love you, but I got to mute you. There we go. And let's start our A major scale, just regular old bowing. Ready, and... that go okay with everybody? Now, are you getting a good sound? Now, that was just straight up long bows. Is everybody getting a decent sound there when they're using the... And you're trying to get... Whoops, you're trying to get a decent sound right from one end of the bow to the other. Right from one end to the other, okay? Let's do it again with that in mind. This time, assume your fingers are nicely in tune and give me the best sound you can possibly do. Ready, and... Okie dokie. Now, everybody happy with the sound they're making there? Pretty good, pretty good. I mean, you'll always be working at it and trying to make it better for sure. But it's good to really focus on that, what they call sound production. Now, let's try a bowing pattern for the D scale. Let's do, say, the down, up, up. Okay? That's what we'll do for the D scale. A 1, 2, here we go. Now the bows looked great. Okay, I was watching everybody, and nice stopping and nicely in the middle of the bow, which is really the point of this exercise. So that's really good. Why don't we just try it again? Just give it another go, even better this time. 1, 2, here we go. good, I think. I mean, again, the bows looked good. So that's one thing that I've noticed. It is really good bow movement, which is probably because I'm harping on it all the time. Now, why don't we do our big G major scale now there, guys? And then we're going to see if we can tackle the arpeggios. Now, I know I haven't mentioned them really yet. I might have talked about them briefly, but we're going to try to play the arpeggios for each of the keys that we're working on, and I'll talk about what arpeggios are. But for now, let's do our great big long G scale, and let's pick, since the bows are moving so good, let's stick with the long bows, and we're going to do the hokum bowing, or the hop bunny bowing, okay? And we'll do, I think, 2 per note is what we do. Yeah, two of them per note, okay? 1, 2, here we go. Okay, looking pretty good, looking pretty good. How are we doing with that? How does it feel? How does it sound? How is the intonation for everybody? Are you able to keep your eye on it? Is it kind of coming in pretty good for the most part? Okay, so now always look for your problem notes. I think I might have mentioned it last time, you know, your worst favorite note or whatever, because those are the ones that need extra work. You know, the ones that you don't like to play or you don't look forward to playing are the ones that need extra work. Okay, so always be mindful of that when you're practicing your scale. You can always get better. Look for those notes that are still bugging you that you're scared of and do some drop downs. Now, I was talking about arpeggios, and I haven't really mentioned arpeggios yet. And I think it's a good time to start touching on them. So arpeggio is the name of the way that you can play the notes in a scale that make the chord of the scale. Okay? Everybody knows what a chord is, right? When a piano player plays 3 or 4 or 5 notes at one time, or more if you're a piano player. You can play, we had a guy in jazz school, we used to call him Ernie 11 Fingers, you know, because he played these huge chords that had, like, we thought he maybe had 11 fingers, you know. But for guitar players, it's 6 notes at a time, you know, and so when you play these notes together, it makes a chord. So when you play the first note and the third note and the fifth note all at the same time, that makes a major chord for whatever key that you happen to be in. Okay, so I'll show you what it is for G. Now I'm just gonna invite Heather and Lena in case they lost the link or something, and then I will show you the arpeggios for the key of G. Okay, Lena, Heather, and So, arpeggios. So, if I was to play arpeggio for the key of G, it would sound like this. Oh, my internet is lagging. Oh, poor Joanne. Sorry, Joanne. Gonna sign out and come back in. Okay, yeah, that sounds fine. I'm recording it all anyway, don't worry. So, arpeggios for the key of G. So, if I was to play the arpeggio for the key of G, the first note of the arpeggio is what they call the root. So, the root is the name of the note of the key that you're in. And so, in this case, it would be G. That's going to be the first note of the G major arpeggio. The next note we do is going to be the third note of the scale. In this case, it's a B. That's G2, okay? The next note we're going to play is the fifth note of the scale. So when you play 1, 3, and 5, that's a triad, okay, or a chord. A triad is the 1, 3, and 5. 3 notes of the scale, when played together, make a chord. So the fifth note of the scale is D. So if I play those broken, we can't play all these notes at once on the fiddle. We can only play 2 at once. So we have to play the chords broken in the form of arpeggios. So that would be G, B, D, and then we play the top note of the scale again, G. See that? That's a G major arpeggio there. I'm going to do it again. See that? That's G, B, and D. Now, does everybody hear that triad quality of those notes when you play them like that? And if I played them together, you can start to hear the chord there. You see that? Okay, I'm going to play it one more time. We got G, then we got B, the 2, then we got D, and then we play the G, the high G, or the middle G, to finish. And then we can keep going. We can play the B on the A string. And then on the third, the 3, the D there. And then the high G. And that's a full 2-octave G major arpeggio. So I'll go through those finger numbers once more. We got open G, G2, open D, D3, A1, A3, E2. And that is a G major arpeggio in 2 octaves. All right? Everybody getting the sound of that ringing around in your head there, and you understand? Okay, so let's try doing it together. And right so far we're just going up the arpeggio. We haven't tried to come down yet. So we're just going to play the open G, G2. I'll call out the numbers as we go, okay? So we'll start with open G. Ready, and G. G2, B. Open D. D3, that's a G. A1. A3. E2. Okay, that's going up the arpeggio. And I could keep going. See that with another B. Now, let's do that ascending, what they call ascending arpeggio one more time, okay? Starting with the open. Ready, and 2, D, 3, A1, 3, E2. Now, how did everybody get along with that? Did you get along okay? Okay, now, like every other scale exercise, we have to come down. We have to descend as well. So that's basically just going backwards. So why don't we do this? We'll ascend, and then I'll call out the numbers for coming back down the arpeggio. Okay? Ready, open G. 2, D, 3, A1, A3, E2, back to the A3, A1, D3, open D, G2, and open G. All right. Now, how did everybody get along? Nobody looked like they really had a huge problem, but how'd we get along? Okay? Okay. If there's no questions, we'll just do it right away again. I think that's the best thing to do, and then we'll talk about it a bit. Ready? G. G2. Open D. 3. A1. A3. E2. Back to the A3. A1. D3. Open D. G2. And open G. All right. Anybody having any problems playing that or understanding how that works? Anything at all? Or questions or comments about the G major arpeggio? Who wants to play it for me? Yay, Katya! Very good, Katya. Very, very good. Now I could see that you didn't like your B on the A string there. You made this very wincy face when you hit it, and you were definitely flat for sure. But then your D came in perfect, and your G came in absolutely perfect. So you did a little fix, and it worked out really well. Okay, really, really good. Excellent. Anybody else want to try it for us? A little bit more listening in for everybody. Shona's going to do it. She's reaching for the button, I can tell.
I'm going to do it, but I'm going to tell you my high G sounds like poop.
Okay. Can't wait.
Get ready. Okay.
All right, Shona. Now, I got to tell you, man, on the way up, your intonation was so good. And your high G, well, I don't know if you're aware, but when you first hit it, it was really nicely in tune. And then it went sharp all of a sudden. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I don't know, did you accidentally add more finger pressure?
Maybe, because I've been having a hard time. And also, I don't know, I haven't changed this string yet, but it really feels like it's not very consistent. Like, it kind of gets slippy at some point. I don't know.
Yeah, you said
I
it was...
probably pressed harder.
You said it was a bit rusty, eh?
Yeah, I need to change it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I think the finger pressure changed. So no, I mean you were bang on in tune when you first hit it, but then you maybe added some pressure. Now you see, this is a thing that beginners battle all the time. Is to hit the note and then kind of doubt yourself and instantly start to change it, right? And I always like to point out that even a stop clock is right twice a day. And if you listen for a second, you might see that you're in tune already. No work needed, you know?
You gotta stop thinking it.
Yeah, exactly. So, but other than that, I thought it was really good. It's always harder on the way down. For some reason, judging the distances between these notes, descending is a lot harder than it is ascending for some reason, okay? So let's try it again there, guys, and focusing on those few things that I talked about there, and we'll see how that gets along. Okay, G major arpeggio. Italian music. Ready? G. 2. D. 3. A1. 3. E2. Back to the A3. 1. D3. Open. G2. And open. One more time, a little faster maybe. Ready, and. Yeah, that looked nice. Everybody looked happy playing that arpeggio. That's good. Now, there's arpeggios for every key that exists, all right? And so we can do arpeggios for the A scale and the D scale as well. At this point, we're only playing those scales in 1 octave, so the arpeggios would also be in 1 octave. I'll just show you what they are. For the key of D, you got D. Again, you start with your arpeggio, the first note of the scale, the tonic. So D. And then F sharp, that's the D2, that's the 3rd note of the scale. Open A, 5th note. And then the D at the top. Back to the A. Back to the D2. And back to the D. Now I'm going to do that again there, guys. Why don't you give it a try with me, okay? And I'll call out those numbers again. We start with open D and then D2. Ready? Open D. D2. Open A. A3. Open A again. D2 again. And open. Let's do that again right away, why not? Ready, and D. D2. Open A. A3. Open A. D2. And open D. And that would be your D major arpeggio in 1 octave, okay? Now the other one we're going to do is A. Now we can do A in 2 octaves. We haven't done it yet. We're going to do it next. Okay, next week we're going to try A major scale in 2 octaves. So far we've done the upper octave, which is not that hard, but the lower octave is tricky. So it would be kind of a step up in our endeavors so far, all right? And it starts down in the low A. But I'll show you just in the 1 octave there tonight so you can get familiar with it this week. And that would be open A, A2, open E, and E3. Open E to come down, A2, and open A. Now why don't you guys try that with me now, and I'll call out the names again. So we got open A, A2, that's a C sharp, open E, and then 3, that's the A. Open E again, A2, that's the C sharp, and open A to finish. And that's the A major arpeggio in 1 octave. All right? Why don't we try that again right away since you just practiced it. Open A. A2, E, E3, E, A2, open A. All right. Okay, how you guys feeling about that? Does everybody understand how arpeggios work? Did you notice that the finger pattern is the same for the A major scale as for the D major scale? Open to open. You see that? And you might notice that that is even numbered fingers. Okay, because arpeggios always have this pattern. One octave is odd number fingers, 1 and 3, and the other octave is even number fingers. So if you look at the G arpeggio that we did first, the lower octave is open, 2, open. The next octave is 3, 1, 3. The next octave would be 2, 4, and then you need extra strings or extra fingers or something. You see that? So one octave is this half of the hand, and the other octave is this half of the hand. They all work that way. So if you're trying to figure it out, that's something to keep in mind. Now I notice Elizabeth there is using fourth fingers. Yeah, it's all right. I mean, it's definitely a good thing to do. And we haven't used fourth fingers much, and I think I might have explained why fiddlers don't use the fourth finger near as much. And it's just because it's a shorter string length play. When I play, so that's my A with the fourth finger, and here it is with the open string. So there's a lot more power there, and that's why fiddle players use the open strings a lot more than the fourth fingers. But here's the danger when you're practicing with your fourth finger, is that you can go all the way up a G scale and be totally flat and not realize it because you haven't hit any of those open strings. All right, I'll show you. I'll demonstrate. Watch this. See, it still kind of sounds in tune with itself, right? Because I haven't hit any open strings. But I am so flat. That C was like completely flat top. So what my dad's teacher used to have me do, which I think is a really good practice, is to use the fourth finger certainly, but then play that open string as well. It'll strengthen your fourth finger note, and it'll make sure that you don't run into that situation. Okay, so he used to get us, and he actually used to get us to do it on the way down. So like this. I think that's because your ear has a chance to hear that string, and then when it makes the attempt with the fourth finger, it's much more likely to be on the mark because you just heard it. I'm not sure. But if you're a user of the fourth finger, that's a really good way to keep it in check and make sure that it doesn't become a liability. Okay? But definitely, fourth fingers are really good to... My friend Kim used to say, you don't want to end up being a three-fingered fiddler. So it is very good to do. Now, let's try that G major scale followed by the arpeggio right away, because that's the best way to practice these, okay? So let's do our big G major scale and then the arpeggio right away. And let's just use regular bowing for now, since we just figured out how to do this arpeggio nonsense, okay? Okay, here we go. G major scale. Ready, and... arpeggio. Open. G2. Open D. D3. A1. A3. E2. A3. A1. D3. Open D. G2. And open G. Okay, looking pretty good and confident. Is there any questions, queries, problems, concerns at all about any of that stuff, arpeggios or anything? No? Arpeggios are really good to practice, not only for your intonation practice, but also tunes are made of scales and arpeggios. If you think about any of the tunes that we've been doing, well, some of the first notes in the tune are usually arpeggio notes, like or a scale. So, like for instance, I always use one of the beginning tunes that they learn in the Irish, which is Tobin's Favorite, and it starts off with a big D major arpeggio. See that? And here's another Irish tune called Jerry's Beaver Hat. Here's the first three notes of that. You get the idea? So once you learn all your arpeggios in the 4 or 5 fiddle keys, then it really quickens your learning of tunes. You understand how they're put together a lot easier. Okay? And we'll certainly go through all of them. So is there any questions or anything at all about any of that? Okay, great. Now, You Are My Sunshine, Oh Susanna. Who's ready to give it to me today? I've been looking forward to it. Elizabeth is ready. She's got the fiddle up. She's looking like she's ready.
I'm just looking for the starting note because I missed last class.
Sure, which one are you thinking about?
Well, what note do you start on or what string for You Are My Sunshine?
For You Are My Sunshine, it's going to be D1. And then open A.
Yeah, I'm not ready.
Okay, that's all right. Who wants to play me either one of those tunes there? See how it's coming along with the ear training.
I'll go.
Oh, great, Elaine. It's D1. D1.
D1.
Start again, Elaine. Just start her again. Excellent job, Elaine. You figured that all out. That's really, really good. And I'm going to tell you also, excellent intonation again. Really good. So you figured that out by ear completely.
Yeah.
That is great. See, we're getting somewhere. That's really good. Okay, Elaine was brave and brilliant. So who's going to follow that up now? Give me either Oh Susanna or You Are My Sunshine. What about Shona's already playing something? No?
I'm trying to catch up.
Okay, fair enough. That's all right. That's all right. Who else? How about Julie? You want to give it to us, Julie? Your earphones caught my attention.
Yeah, my husband's playing too much music in the next room, so.
Oh, what's he playing?
Oh, he does composing, so he's got his whole setup in there, and he's, he gets his inspirations to work on something, and I hear it over and over and over again.
I see. Excellent job, Julie. Really good. And again, nicely in tune, too. Really, really good. That's excellent. Very good. Great ears, guys. Mary, looked like you were practicing it. Do you want to give it to us?
That's why I was practicing.
Which one? Really good, Mary. Now, might have had a few staggers, but as they say, it's nothing a few hundred times won't fix. Okay, very good, very, very good. Now, is there anybody else that wants to give that a go for me before we try it together? What about you, Scott? You did it last time, and probably I'd like to hear if it's come along any better. Oh, no audio from Scott. No audio there, Scott. Can't hear you. I don't know why. No. Oh, okay. What a drag. Well, that's okay. That's okay. Listen, we're going to do it together anyway. So why don't we all just do it together? We'll do it a couple of times, and the second time I'll push you a little bit faster, okay? And if anybody wants to play it, just stop me, and I'd love to hear it. So, okay. 2 times. Second time a little bit faster. D1 is our starting note, and then the next one's going to be open A, okay? 1, 2, 3. Little faster. Even faster. right there, guys. How did everybody do? Did anybody have any problems where they couldn't play that fast? No? That's great. Very, very good. Now, how about Oh, Susanna? Okay, now I'm not going to make anybody play it because nobody chose to play it for me to begin with, so I figured maybe not many people tackled it. It would be a very good one to get, and some people did do it last time, okay? So I'm just going to play it really slow, and whoever was working on it, please try to have a crack at it. D2 is the first note, and then open A, and then A1, and then we scale down. Actually, that's an arpeggio. Okay, so let's see how we do here, guys. D2 and then open A. Ready, and... Let's do it again. Now that second time, everybody looked much more comfortable. Okay? Anybody having problems? Like, that looked pretty good. Shona, were you able to figure it out after? Pretty good?
Getting there.
Okay, cool. So let's make that the big goal for next week, okay? We'll try to, I'm going to get a couple of people to play Oh, Susanna for me next week. You can work on it this week. Refer back to this video or the previous one if you need kind of guidance, getting the notes. But let's do it one more time. And this time I'm going to call out the numbers, okay? Just so that if you're having trouble this week, you can go back to the video and follow my numbers, as it were. So D2 to open A. Ready, 2, 3, D2. 2, A, 1, A, D2, open. 1, 2, 2, 1, open, 1. Open and 1. 2, A, 1, A, D2, open. 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, D. D3. D3. A1. A. D2. Open. 1. Open and 1. 2. A. 1. A. D2. Open. 1. 2. 2. 1. 1. D. Looking good, guys. Looking very good. Any questions? Or anything? Comments? Frustrations? No? It's wonderful. It's great. Cool. Okay, so now if I remember correctly, last time we got through the first part of Miss McLeod's reel for the people that haven't learned it right. So this time we're going to get through the second part. And everybody has the copy with the fingerings in it by now, I hope. So let's give it a go, okay? So first of all, we'll practice our A part a little bit, and then we'll tackle the B part there. Okay. And remember this tune, this starts with the big A to A. Okay, that's how we start. Great way to check your intonation on that high A. See that? Here, if it was flat, it would sound like this. When you hear them side by side, you can really tell, eh? That's better. Oh my God. Here's sharp, if you were wondering. You hear that little spike to the sound there? It's, you know, it's kind of like A, but with an edge that is not nice. And that's what sharp sounds like. Here it is in tune again. Okay, so let's do it, guys, very, very slow. Ready, and... Let's do it all again. Now that all looked great there, guys. Really, really good. Does anybody want to play it for me so I can kind of get a sense that you can play it and that you're not having problems with it? Anybody up for it? Gotcha, right on. Yeah, very good, very good. Now the couple of squeakies that you had there, that's the biggest problem I heard was a few squeakies. And it was just because your bow got too close to the bridge for a minute.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
It's the leading cause of squeaking is too close to the bridge. And what I notice on the E string for lots of people, I'm not sure about you, I didn't really notice that time. But when you switch over to the E string, sometimes you do this.
Okay.
And that puts you over to the bridge. Or some people do the other way. Both can put you close to the bridge. But other than that, very good. And your intonation's getting better too.
Okay.
It's brightening up. Who else is brave? Scott's already playing. Let's hear it, Scott. Oh, we can't hear Scott. That's okay. That's okay. I trust you. I know you're doing good. Who else? How about Shona? You want to try? I haven't heard from you for a while, Shona.
I'll volunteer to this part because I can't do the second part. I know.
Okay.
Keep trying.
Yeah, we'll get it.
And you're not doing this pickup note at the beginning?
You can if you want.
No, I won't now.
Okay.
Oops, sorry, can I start over?
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm going it all backwards.
Yeah, and it's because you missed one of those up-ups.
Yeah.
But at this speed, the thing is, guys, with that bowing, at this speed, it's not going to hurt you that much to go opposite direction. So what you did, keep going. That's the best thing to do. But if you're wondering, that's most often what happens when your bowing gets turned around is just missing one of those up-ups. Okay? Other than that, excellent. And I got to tell you that the tuning is what's that?
It's not very musical, but that's okay.
Oh, there was a little bit of talking in there for sure. But I thought it was nicely in tune. That's what I'm really liking to hear. And so far, everybody that's playing tonight is showing an improvement with the overall intonation. Really, really good. Okay? Keep that up. Anybody else want to try it before we start getting the second part? Joanne wants to? Excellent.
Just a minute. Gotta start again.
Take your time. Yeah, man, really, right on. The only thing that I would say is that you spent most of your time in this part of the bow.
Okay.
Whereas you might have a much easier time of it up in this part of the bow. You want to try it like that and see if it makes a difference right away? Now, how do you think? Do you think that made a difference for you?
Yeah, I didn't realize I was playing lower, so I'll have to work on that.
I think it'll help you.
I felt a little awkward trying to do it up higher, but I guess I just kind of gotten used to going low.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens now. This down at the bottom of the bow, I see it all the time with beginners. I don't know what it is. You just kind of end up there. It is easier. I know it doesn't seem like it right now, but it is easier to play in the upper half of the bow. That's why they call it the fiddling sweet spot. But more than anything, you just want control over it. You want to be able to play in the end if you want, or in the bottom if you want, and be aware of that. Okay, so just keep it in mind. I think it'll come along as you think of it. Really good though, and good intonation. Again, very, very good intonation. Good C sharps. Like everybody's C sharp so far, really nicely in tune. And that's the second finger. That's the one that has two positions, so it can be problematic for lots of people. Okay, so let's try her one more time. The first part there. I'm going to speed it up a little tiny bit, and then we're going to get the second part. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, and... Looking pretty good. Shona, you look very mad at somebody. Oh.
Just laughing.
Okay. Indeed. Okay, everybody else feeling okay? Can we move on to the second part? Okay. So the second part. That's her, okay? So you can hear there's lots of repetition in there. I'm just going to grab the music because I sometimes mix up those F's and A's on the top end there. I don't want to be confusing. So I'm just going to make sure I do it exactly that way.
So Dan,
Yeah.
in the third measure of the second part, the last note, the F sharp, into the B. Like, are you actually hopping strings? Like, are you playing E1 to A1?
Yeah.
Or are you playing them both with the same finger?
I use the same, well, it is the same finger, but yes, I put one finger down on two strings when I do that. Okay. Now that's called a double stop. That's when you're putting your...
okay.
Yeah, because they used to call, when you finger the strings, back in the old days, they called that stopping the strings. And I love that. That's where the term double stop comes from. Yeah, and you can play a double stop with your bow, playing two strings at the same time, but when you stop the two strings with one finger, that really is a double stop, okay? Now, in this case, I might not play the two notes at the same time, but having my one finger down on both strings means I can play both of those notes really easily without having to pick it up and put it on the other string. See that?
Right.
Now, that being said, double stops are a skill. And it comes in like we'll be doing that, we'll be tackling that, but it's a little tricky to do that right off the bat. It's better to keep it in mind. So you might do this kind of leaning thing. Oh, there's Heather. You might do this kind of leaning thing for now, or whatever move you need to do to get over there type of thing. See what I mean? But keep in mind that at some point we will learn how to put the one finger down on both strings and do a true double stop, or they also call that a fifth because the notes are 5 notes apart, just like the open strings.
I thought double stops were just like open strings.
Well, they can be. They are. But the true definition is, like I said, stopping two strings.
Okay.
I learned that from Kevin Burke. All this time playing the violin, I never realized that before. But and the thing is about the term stopping the strings instead of fingering the strings, I really like that because it indicates that you're kind of giving the string a little hug. So it helps when I'm teaching beginners, it helps to say stopping the string because then you have a little bit of a sense of finger pressure because you're trying to give the string a little hug and stop it from vibrating at that point rather than just kind of mashing your finger down and hoping for the best. See what I mean? It creates a little bit of finesse there in the hand, stopping the strings. But yes, that is how I do that there, Elizabeth. Very good question.
Okay, good to know.
Now, no problem. So let's work this out. Let's work out the phrases there, guys. So the first phrase of the second part is this whole A, A, C, A, E, C, C. And then an F, which I find very random. Always did. Very strange. But we'll do it anyway because it's in the book. So we're going to try 2 open A's. And then a C and an A. And then an E to the C. and then that weird F. So let's do that together. Okay? Ready? And A, C, A, E, C, C, F. All right, let's do that move a couple more times because I'm sure you can see we got to do it a few times in the tune. So A, C, A. Ready? And A, C, A, E, C, C, F. Getting that? One more time. Ready? And A, C, A, E, C, C, F. Okay, that looked good. Now the next lick, 3 C's, B, C, and then another C. Now sometimes when I'm learning these tunes, and I look at a measure like that, and I see that most of the measure are C's, I just count them. So I look at this measure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 C's all together. C, 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 B, C. So, and then another C. Okay, so let's try that lick. 5 C's with a B in there and a high A at the end. Ready? And C, 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 B, C, C, A. Okay, let's try that again. Ready? And C, 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 B, C, C, A. Yeah, that looked good. One more time. Ready? And C, 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 B, C, C, A. Okay, good, 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 good. So when you put those phrases together, let's do all that. Okay? A, C, A. Ready? And A, C, A, E, C, C, F, C, 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 B, C, C, A. Now look what comes next. Again. See that? So now, why don't we start at the top of the B part and see if we can carry all the way through to that part, and then we'll get the bit that comes after, okay? So let's start at the top of the B part. Ready, go. A, C, A, E, C, C, F, C, 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 B, C, C, A, C, A, E, C, C, F, and then we got this very similar thing except with B. And again, that's another 5 B's in that measure, just like there was 5 C's in the similar phrase before. So let's try that measure there, guys. The 5 B's, there's 3 B's and an A, and then 2 B's and a C. Okay, ready, and B, 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 A, B, B, C. Okay, let's do that again. Ready, and B, 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 A, B, B, C. Okay? Yep, that looked good. That looked good. So now let's start at the top of the B part once more and see how far we get before it's a horrible pile of steaming wreckage. All right? Ready, 2, 3, go. B, did we make it to the other side? Nobody stopped or screamed or smashed anything. So I thought that was pretty good. And did everybody recognize the ending again? Same ending, eh? Thankfully. Thank Christ Almighty. Okay, let's do it again. Same thing right away. Ready, and... See me. Again. One more time. All right, everybody. How are we doing? Any questions or weird bits that took you by surprise, or that you need clarification, or just want to say, God, that was horrible, or anything like that? No? Okay, well, you know what that means. We're going to speed it up. Now, how you getting along there, Scott? I wish I could hear you. Oh, you're doing good. Okay, that's great. So let's speed it up just a tiny bit there, guys, with the second half, okay? Everybody okay with that? Just a little bit. Just push you a bit. One, two, three, and... That was faster. Any fatalities? Any victims? No, that's great. All right. Does somebody want to play it for us? Anybody want to play me that part just so I can see if you can play it and I know, because it's so weird teaching people without hearing them. Anybody want to give me that second part? All right, Katja. Good start.
I can see my tuner, and I see that I'm totally out of.
Well, you were for a second, but then you fixed it. That's
Okay.
that's okay. Try her again. Yeah.
Ah!
It's okay. Okay. No, that was good. That was good. So, first of all, you fixed your intonation. It got much better. And I'm sure you can tell because you got more comfortable. Also, you got the bits. You got the bones. It's just the joining them together that you need to work on, which is nothing a few hundred times won't fix there, Katja, okay? And we're gonna play it a lot more times, so don't you worry about that. Very good. Who else gonna play it for me? Julie, I knew you were gonna do it.
All right. Okay. Sorry, I started
All right, that's all right. Yeah, really good, Julie. And so intonation, good. And for everybody, it's been really good tonight. But also, good bowing. You got all the up-ups in there, and I didn't even talk about them. Now, luckily, they're written in. That does make it a little easier, you know. But keep doing them. It's so valuable at this point. Very, very good. Okay?
Thank you.
Anybody else want to give it a try before we grind away a few hundred times? Anyone? No? Deborah, we haven't heard from you yet, I realize. You're behind the camera tonight. Because I have my webcam is in front of the screen, so sometimes people are behind my camera, and you are behind the camera.
He's in a sweet spot.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty.
Take your time. Yeah, man, really, really good. So again, good intonation from you too, Deborah. Really good. Have you noticed it getting better?
Yeah, a bit. Trying
That's
to
good.
do the longer bows.
Good. And good bowing. The only thing about the bowing, though, you should try getting those up-ups in there.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah. At the very end, like that.
yeah. You see where it has the slur in the up bow? Yeah. So that could be a little goal for you there this week. Everything else sounds really good. So if you got those in there, it's going to make it easier when we go faster. That's what really helps there. And that's what fools people. Because people can play, say, that was like, I don't know, that was about 60. So you can get up to about 75 or 80 without doing any bowing, ups or anything like that, and not even notice. But as soon as you try to go faster than that, you'll completely lock up as a result. See what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
So getting those ups in now is going to be really useful. Okay? So let's take the grinder to it there, lads and lassies. Let's go a good few hundred times here, and we'll get faster a couple times as we go along. And then then we'll put her all together. Okay, second part. Ready, and... little faster. One more. Okay, feeling okay? Okay, let's put the whole Miss McLeod's together. All right, the whole her. And we'll do it the same speed as that. One, two, three, and... right there. How did everybody get along? Any survivors? Any victims? Anybody have any problems? Any stuff that stopped you up, made you have to stop, or anything like that? No, that's great. That's excellent. Very good. So now we got the whole Miss McLeod's, the whole kit and caboodle. So you guys are going to practice that this week, and we're going to see if we can get it up in tempo next week. See if we can get it a little bit faster to make it sound more like a reel. Okay? Is there any questions about that tune? Anything at all? Thoughts or comments?
Dan, could you play it through the way you play it? Like,
Oh,
is it
sure.
slow tempo? But is it the way
Sure.
you play it? Because like, there's all kinds of grace notes and those like 16ths and dotted eights and all that stuff. And
The dotted eights, to completely disregard those dotted eights in there, eh?
like that's the thing. I'm conservatory trained, so I'm like in a straitjacket.
Well, the thing is about the
I have to play this.
the Sky Collection, they put those in there in case you wanted to play it like a Strasbourg, eh? And that's not the only one. There's a whole bunch of reels in that Sky Collection that have, and the reason that you know that it's a reel that you could play as a Strasbourg if you want is that they only put a few in, and it's just to give you an idea if you wanted to play it like a Strasbourg. And I think if you look in the book, it says can be played as a Strasbourg, and that's the reason for doing that.
Okay.
Okay, but I'll show you now that what I do. Or the old time version. It's pretty cool, eh? Just a few versions there. A few versions.
Amazing.
Yeah. So you're getting the idea of the sound there. Thank you very much. You getting the idea of that? Yeah. So have that in your mind. That's why I put the up to speed versions on the YouTube so that you can get that sound, general sound, in your mind, eh? Because that's your eventual goal. And but I will say that I'm gonna do a big job this week, and I'm gonna sit down and do medium versions of everything that's up on YouTube right now. All right, all the tunes that are up on medium version. It's going to be a big job. I would say it's good. I realized I have 50 some videos on that YouTube channel now. And so there's going to be more. And also there's subscribers. And the funny thing is, I also have a channel for the Oakville Celtic, which some of you guys are in. And as you know, the Oakville Celtic Orchestra has 41 members, but there are 75 subscribers to the YouTube channel. So somewhere there are Oakville Celtic fiddlers that are playing our stuff, which I think is just great. I hope we get even more. Anyway, yeah, I will do medium versions. I think it'll help. Lots of people have asked me for medium versions of these tunes, because the slow is for, when you're just trying to get it, and the fast is the eventual goal. So I'm going to do some 70s. I'm going to put some 70 beats per minute versions up there on the YouTube channel. Okay. That's a great question, Elizabeth. Any other questions at all about Mrs. McLeod's reel or anything that we've done tonight? Nothing. All right. Okay, so let's do, to finish off for this evening, why don't we do a little bit of review? Let's do the Rosebud. Okay? We'll play the Rosebud a nice couple of times there to finish off the evening. Always good to finish off playing something that you have under your belt already. It makes you finish it on a good note. All right. Rosebud of Allendale. With lots of feeling. Here we go. Let's do it all again. Everybody looked pretty cheery there during that one. So I take it that went pretty well. Okay, that was great work tonight, guys. So you know what to do next week. We'll learn a new one. I think next week maybe we'll have a crack at one of the Irish ones, because it is going to be March. And oh, I should wait. Hold on. I got to check my calendar here, because I actually have something happening in my life, which is going to be on March 7th. So, okay. So that means that March 9th, there will be no class because I'm getting a hernia surgery on March 7th at the Shouldice Clinic. Yes, I know. It's my second one, too, which really sucks. When I was 20, I had one on the right side, and now I have one on the left side. So I'm going to have matching scars. It's going to be really fun. But anyway, so yeah, so March 9th, just put down in your book, March 9th, there won't be class, but we still have next week. So this week, you're going to work on all that stuff. Next week, we'll learn a new tune, maybe the Egan's Polka, or maybe a jig, another jig, or maybe an Irish reel. I think maybe the polka. It's really accessible, and it's like the first one kids learn over there. So to get ready for St. Patrick's Day, you know, just have something a little Irishy to play if you feel like it, you know. Top of the morning to you and the rest of the day to myself. Anyway, so we'll do that, and I'll get the stuff up on YouTube. And yeah, keep your bows moving, everybody. We'll see you next week. All right.
Okay.
Nighty night. Night, night, Bell.